Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. Ever so excited to be here yet again on a beautiful Monday evening. Welcome to the third week of our program, From Vision to Results. And like I said at the beginning of our program, I want to be your personal change strategist in 2026, where we sit, think through our lives, and align ourselves where we can actually think, feel, and live on purpose. And that's actually going to be the tagline for my rebrand for Storage Consulting. Watch this space and take a minute to actually go to our Instagram and search at story.hbw, where you can actually follow along. Once the rebrand is done, I believe that we're actually going to do a lot more one-on-one coaching from my lips to God's ears. But welcome to the program. In the meantime, it's just me and you, just chatting and thinking through how we can move from the vision that we hold in our minds to getting actionable results in 2026. So welcome. In week 1, we were thinking about clarity and vision and the need to have mental clarity, emotional clarity all around in terms of what you want for your life, right? What you want in all those specific areas, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and right? So understanding that first before you actually commit to anything. And secondly, in the past week, we were thinking about alignment and inner resistance. The one thing that I liked from last week's video was how you can actually have fear of success. What if it works out and you're actually terrified because you're not sure what you're gonna do when that happens? I think I'm still sitting with it, still trying to understand it, and but if you're new here, welcome. I hope that you will stick around. There will be one new program every single month of 2026, and that will be from the second Monday to the last Monday of every single month. So welcome. So key thought, I think, for our opening and welcome remarks today is that having clarity helps show you direction, where you're going, right? So clarity as you set your vision, as you do your vision board. I'm not done with mine yet. It's still sitting on the dining table, I should admit. And then alignment removes resistance, right? Aligning to who you believe you are, who you believe you're becoming, your values, and today we're going to really be getting to the nitty-gritty in terms of execution, where results are built, right? So for the first part of today's video, and I'm using my phone for our notes instead of my notebook because I haven't had time to write them down today, so we're just gonna go with the outline that I have on my phone. So the first thing that I want us to think about today, and I'm just gonna slow down for a bit. I hope you have your journal with you. I hope you have a pen and paper, if at all you don't have a journal, but somewhere you can actually write down your thoughts even as I'm going through this video, right? So the first point of departure today is why execution breaks down. Why execution breaks down, and I want us to think about that together, right? To say that the year begins, you have momentum, you've started running. And I noticed that a lot of people are running, which is like truly the most affordable way to work out. And kudos to them. A lot of people are working out, putting in the work in terms of execution. But you'd find that probably by February, a lot of them would have probably given up, right? Given that you've started off the high and the motivation from the new year. And, now we're kind of easing into reality, and it kind of then reveals who's in it for the long haul, if you get what I mean. So common execution problems, I'm going to talk to 3, and even as I shared, want for you to think about which one applies to you, right? So number 1, over planning. There's a day I asked ChatGPT I don't know what prompt I gave it, but I think I asked it something along the lines of, what do I need to work on myself. And something it said that you have too many ideas and you don't actually bring a lot of them to life, because obviously I hope I'm not the only one who goes to chat for like idea mining, and I have a lot of them. And I think it's probably like, just, are you executing on these, or are we just having chats, So over planning. So I don't know if you are that person who will have a plan for the year, but each week comes and leaves and you have not executed on any of the things that you've set out for yourself. And obviously life happens. Something that I can personally share is how I went back to work this week, and I decided, because my body is still adjusting to this new transition, I'm not going to work out until I've settled into the rhythm. So I'll probably start working out in February. And I believe that's allowed. Being able to adjust the plan around life, it makes it more realistic and makes it, something more personable, if I should say. You haven't just said it, but you're relating to it as something that's going to actually bring change into your life. I don't know if it makes sense, right? But yeah, over planning. Maybe you've planned, and I'm going to take this chance as an opportunity to give you permission to start, because you've planned, you have the script. If maybe you want to start your YouTube channel, you have the script, you've designed the thumbnails, you've come up with the name, you've come up with the direction, but it's hard for you to actually start and switch on the camera and just record yourself. This is me giving you permission to start today. And I hope that this will, find its way to the person who needs it. And if this is for you, please leave it in the comments that you are triggered to actually get started and stop over planning. So the second thing is waiting to feel ready. I remember the first YouTube video I recorded. I think I probably overthought it in terms of ultimately what my channel would look like, but I allowed myself to start, right? I remember I recorded it, and it was probably almost an hour long, because I was ranting and just going at it in terms of introducing myself to the tubes of you. But a lot of us get stuck and bogged down in terms of actually getting things off the ground, because we're waiting to feel ready. And I remember this even with my coaching programs. Like, I'll have ideas, and then I'll just be like, okay, I need to finish this, I need to get that done before I can actually put it out and have people sign up for the program. And something I've been thinking about lately is how you could have an idea, and if you sit for too long with it, that one day you're going to just see someone executing on it online. And I've been seeing that. I've seen that with some of my ideas, and I'm like, darn it, I took too long. But the idea was there. And something that I usually have my conversations with ChatGPT, I'll be honest, that he had said one of the days is to then say, don't wait for it to be perfect. You will, reach perfection as you go along. So here's to really thinking about whether or not you're feeling stuck because you're waiting to feel ready. You haven't executed it to the extent that you would have liked to so far, because you're just waiting for you to feel ready. And what if that day never comes, right? And then number 3, the last key thought in terms of common execution problems is inconsistency after a good start. Inconsistency, right? And consistency is going to be the secret to everything this year, right? If it's your health, consistency. If it's your financial goals, consistency. If it's your emotional goals in terms of journaling, checking in, communicating how you feel, consistency. If it's your spiritual life, building intimacy with God, consistency is the secret. Yeah, you heard it here first. Cough, cough. But inconsistency after a good start. It's been 3 weeks. We're moving into week 4 of January, and I don't want you to be caught in the population of people that are going to be falling off as soon as February starts in the next week, right? So here's a reframe I'd want for us to really think about, right? That will help us to keep going, I hope. Execution is not about willpower. It's not about willpower. It's about structure and self-trust. And as we go along, I'd want for us to really talk through that. I will touch a bit on that in terms of how structure beats motivation. So you don't need more motivation. You need fewer decisions. And when you have structure, it removes decision fatigue. And I feel we talked about it a little in the past video, but removing decision fatigue by having strong systems in 2026 will be the difference. And truly, honestly, I see that for myself, for my channel, because I sat at the beginning of the month, I planned for my content, I planned for my programs, I planned for my TikTok. And coming here becomes very easy because I'm not reinventing the wheel every Sunday, every Saturday when I sit down to record. But I'm literally just coming to show up for the program that I would have thought out for that particular week, right? So it removes the decision fatigue, especially given that for me, I am also transitioning back to work and juggling that and being a new mom, right? So that decision fatigue that I might be sitting with, or that I could have sat with if I hadn't planned, is removed, right? So I'd want to challenge you, if you've been waiting for motivation to get started, maybe you don't have a good plan, maybe you don't have a good system, right, set out in terms of what your weeks look like. So I hope that even as we go along, you will be able to establish that for yourself as we proceed with this video. So the second part, I might have spoken a bit for longer than I'd hoped for why execution breaks down, but it is what it is, right? So for this second part, I want us to talk about consistency over intensity. I said that consistency is the secret for 2026. So consistency over intensity. Why doing less consistently works better? I saw this, I think, even in December when I was working out my Vlogmas, right? Truly, I felt, because I had planned out the 25 days of prayer, each and every day of me coming to sit down and think through the thought for that day was very easy, right? It was very easy, right? And it just felt like I wasn't doing too much heavy lifting in terms of my recording. And I even got to a place where I was able to establish my rhythm in terms of being able to just record 15-minute video clips, right? And I want us to think about, when thinking about consistency, the danger of all or nothing thinking. And I caught myself earlier this morning, I was feeling a bit fatigued, and I was like, if I stop, or if I don't do it today, we're quitting social media. It's an all or nothing kind of moment. And I feel I have those moments a lot, but I realized this year is a bit different because I have a structure and a system in place in terms of my content. So it's not very easy for me to just be like, goodbye like before, right? And I don't know about you, if you've experienced this in terms of having all or nothing thinking. Please do share it in the comment section. And I think for the last part, in terms of consistency over intensity, is thinking about the compounding effort, right? I always think about it from a place of compound interest when you save. Similarly, when you show up daily for yourself, over time, I believe it's building trust, it's building and establishing self-trust in terms of how you're able to execute. And I believe that this kind of trickles down into all the other areas of your life. When you show up in one area, another area will also, blossom and enjoy the fruit of what you've learned in that other area, correct? So I'd want to ask you a question that I'd want for you to answer in your journal. You can pause this video before you proceed. But what do you start and stop repeatedly, and why? What do you start and stop repeatedly, and why? So with that for a bit. I'm gonna get a glass of water. I'll be back. I'm back. I think my bottle is in the car, and I'm feeling too lazy to go get it, I'll be honest. But yeah, what do you start and stop repeatedly, and why? I hope you gave yourself time to answer the question in your journal. So we're going to move on, and I think I recorded, because I put timestamps for these, so I'm just going to try to be a bit quick in terms of my explanation for the rest of these elements, so that you can have time to actually go and reflect, which is, I feel, the heart of these programs, correct? So we're going to think through turning vision into weekly action. Turning vision into weekly action. And this sounds like something we've talked about if you've been watching week 1, week 2, and week 3. This sounds as something that we've talked about. So I want to challenge us to think about, how do we translate vision into weekly outcomes, daily actions? Weekly outcomes, daily actions. And given that at the beginning of this program we've been kind of using the lens of my content journey, what weekly outcomes would help me bring the vision that I have for myself to life? That would mean my 3 videos on my YouTube, my 3 videos on my TikTok. That's all. So 6 videos in total, and truly that's doable, very realistic. And imagine for Vlogmas I was putting out a video every single day, so through a week is really realistic, right? And in thinking about the daily actions that you take, obviously, to grow and have your channel reach more people, that's sharing, creating awareness, and but low effort, really, because my prayer for my content this year is for it to find its way to the right people, trusting the algorithm to do its thing to take them to the people that need them, and that would count as you. If you made it this far, please do leave it in the comments section. So last week on my TikTok, you can actually go check it out, I was talking about weekly success systems, and I would want to reframe that for our conversation today to say weekly execution system. What is your weekly execution system? And that would look like 1 focus outcome for the week, 3 priority actions. So an example would be exercising, right? An outcome, exercising this week. 3 priority actions would look like managing your time before you start working out, the time that you've committed to. So I mean getting home early or going to bed early so that you wake up early to work out. 2, putting out your workout clothes. 3, putting your phone on do not disturb so that you focus on the workout fully. But that's just me giving examples. You know what your lived experience is, and I want to challenge you to decide, what outcome do you want to see come out of your life in this coming week, and what 3 actions do you need to take, right? And then the last thing would be 1 non-negotiable habit. 1 non-negotiable habit, something that you're going to be doing repeatedly in relation to this particular outcome, right? So a practical example would be like I'd given for health. It could be for your personal growth. You could be watching these videos every week. But I'd want for you to pause the video and note down your weekly execution system for the final week of January. And you can even go further to plan for the next 2 months, next 12 weeks actually. Let's apply the 12-week principle. So we're going to move on to say what to do when you fall off track, right? And truly the conversation here is for us to get to a place where we can normalize a bit of inconsistency, especially if you're a beginner. And I'm trusting that I'm speaking to beginners who are trying to figure out executing on their vision. So normalizing a bit of inconsistency, because life will happen. Life will happen. And normalizing, not saying this is going to be your posture for the whole year, because consistency is the hack, but getting to a place where when you fall off track, you don't sit in shame, because shame is what usually gets us stuck. You hold on to the shame of, I didn't start with everyone on the 1st of Jan, so I'm not going to do it anyway. I'll try again next year, right? So I am giving you permission to sit and really analyze why you fell off, and get to a place where, if you are feeling shame about it, sit with the emotion, ask yourself why you're feeling that shame, journal about it, leave it on the paper, and plan your next move in terms of executing this coming week. So I'd want to challenge you, instead of quitting, we're going to get to a place where we figure out how to reset and reboot quickly. Yeah. So we notice, we adjust, we resume. We notice when we fell off, we adjust. Like I shared how I'm making my way back to work, so I'm transitioning into that space and my body's a bit overwhelmed, but we adjusted around that. We're not giving up, we're not quitting, right? And then we resume. Yeah. So falling off track isn't failure. Staying down is. Falling off track isn't failure. Staying down is. So we're almost done with our video for the day. So excited, because getting here was hard. Getting here was hard for the girly today. But as I shared earlier, to say consistency builds self-trust. But another reframe to think about today in terms of building self-trust is through action. Taking action and taking the actions that you've promised to yourself helps build self-trust, right? And like we had talked about identity and alignment to who you're becoming, I'd want to challenge you to take actions that are actually aligned to who you want to become in terms of building your identity. Obviously not tying yourself to that image that you're holding, the brand, but allowing yourself to actually mold yourself into it. What I'm trying to say is not getting, in Christian terms, not making your identity an idol, right? Or worshipping that identity that you've created in your mind. I've fallen for that trap before when I was younger, and that will never happen again. So you taking action will be a form of keeping a promise to yourself. I remember when I was young, I hated it when people broke their promises. I will literally hold it against you. Resentment is the word. So keeping promises to yourself as you take these actions, as I show up here daily for myself, as I show up weekly, it is me keeping a promise to myself that I set out 3 weeks ago. So similarly for yourself, keeping promises to yourself helps build self-trust, right? So self-trust in this case will be the result and not a personality trait. So a reflection prompt I'd want to share is to say, what promise can you keep this week, no matter how small? What promise can you keep this week, no matter how small? And I'm actually thinking about it to say, okay, the hope was to skip rope every day. So maybe instead of every day, I might just skip Monday and Wednesday this week, right? Starting small. What about you? What can you reframe and kind of bring to a smaller level so that you can actually start in the coming week, right? So we are coming to the end of this clip and the end of this 3-week program, and I want for us to really think about our weekly practice and integration, right? And the key takeaways that I'd want for us to think about, that I've spoken about for today's conversation, is consistency, right? And in thinking about simplifying your goal in such a way that you can actually execute it in a week, execute it on specific days, and also being able to recover when you fall back. Being able to have a plan of what you're going to do realistically, because you know how your life is set up. You know that this week you might be extra tired because of the transition. That's me going back to work. So what are you going to do about it, right? So I want to invite for you to choose one outcome for the week. Put it in the comments if You can generalize and say my health goal this week. Health outcome this week is to work out on Monday and Wednesday at 6 to 6:30 p.m. Monday and Wednesday. Very specific, very measurable. And I want to challenge you to commit. Let's do it together. Commit to that small action. I had completely written off this week in terms of working out. So I am deciding to commit to this week to then say I am going to work out on Monday and Wednesday. I will share this with my husband so that he keeps me accountable. So we're coming to a close. This is closing thoughts for today's video for the program From a Vision to Results. So excited because we are done. And for the month of February, we are going to be discussing weekly success systems. I'd already started the conversation on TikTok, so you can check it out. But we're going to do the work, right, in February. So I'd want to encourage you as we close. And something that I noted down as a closing statement is to say results don't come from trying harder. They come from showing up differently. And obviously from 2025, you may have set certain goals in terms of what you want to accomplish in terms of your health, your emotions, your spiritual goals, etc. And you know how the year played out, right? I'd want to challenge us to show up a bit differently this year. And I hope that I will be the person to help you do that. I think my closing call to action for today's video, I didn't include the ad, rather just keep it at the end for today, to say that I have one-on-one coaching programs. If you are looking to have someone help you move from point A to point B and get outcomes in your future, please do check out the link. There should be book a coaching session in one of my links. That will take you to my booking platform where you can actually book a session. So you can book for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. I'm not sure if I have the 16-week still, but up to 12 weeks where we can sit and work on one specific outcome that you want to actually see come alive in your own life. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Be blessed. I'll see you guys next month.